What's happened? What kind of place is this? Maybe I'm dead. I can't see any light. I might be dead. I can't get up. What's going on here? What's happening to me? There's no one here, yet these noises. God, my head is killing me. I can't keep my eyes open. thing I remember clearly is Charlotte, my doll. No, she's freezing. She's alone. Let's look for her. Renee does not want to abandon her. It is not forbidden. Let's find Charlotte. Let's search the wards on the first floor. There's a plan on the wall which shows where the various wards are located. Renee does not want to abandon her. Mummy took good care of Charlotte. She tucked her in, hugged her, gave her cuddles and kisses. She was very affectionate and loving. Nothing bad happened to Charlotte, and I was amazed. I did not understand. At first, I was quite afraid. I feared that she wanted to hurt me. I was constantly expecting the moment when Mum would abandon her. Because I did not deserve to live. I did not deserve to be loved. It's cold. It's dark. Now she's cold. She'll get ill. We can take care of her. It's not forbidden. Charlotte is a good girl. Mummy took good care of Charlotte. She tucked her in, hugged her, gave her cuddles and kisses. She was very affectionate and loving. Nothing bad happened to Charlotte, and I was amazed. I did not understand. At first, I was quite afraid. I feared that she wanted to hurt me. I was constantly expecting the moment when Mum would abandon her. He doesn't want to. Not Charlotte. Charlotte, I saw cold. A wheelchair on the ground Let's floor. Find her a warm place. This is a comfortable place for Charlotte. but it's cold. No, no, it's cold. Don't shiver, Charlotte. The cold will go away. We need to find warm lights. Let's go into the surgical ward. He'll get angry. He'll certainly get angry. The cold goes away, you see? The light. Warmth. We can do it. The cold goes away. It's not forbidden. Now we can go to that ward where everything started. It all began in the observation ward on the ground floor. light, but it didn't go dark. It was a limitless immensity, a blinding, merciless light. I was 16 and I was afraid, always afraid, a fear that wore me down. I needed help, but I could not speak. Everything terrified me, even thinking. They said they were taking me to a place where the fear would go away, where I would get better. I stopped living in there. They dragged me away and tore off all of my clothes, every last stitch. I tried to explain what was going on in my head. They tied me to the bed for days, alone with my nightmares. It wasn't fear anymore. It was madness. And when you're mad, you cease to exist. She was my only hope in this hell. I was falling down amongst the damned, but that woman and her smile kept me alive. The door is locked from the outside. Here, the doors can only be locked and unlocked from the outside. felt fragile, sick, dirty, filthy. All I could do was clutch Charlotte tightly while Renee obeyed. He was the boss in the realm of light. I was devoured by the evil I had done. I threw up and could feel hell getting closer and closer. My God, those medical examinations. The doctors said there was something inside me, which they would have dragged out of me. My God. She stayed with Renee during those terrible medical examinations. That's what gave her the strength to survive. They went to the gynecology ward on the first floor. 21/08/1938. Confidential. Dear A, I know what you think about these things, so I am referring a patient to you, Renee T. This wretched girl eluded our control and caused trouble in the park almost 3 months ago. The nurses should pay more attention. I'm examining the girl on the 28th. I'll sort things out, don't worry. We don't want to make things any worse. Then they said that Renee was crazy and that the illness was all in her head. Be careful, little girl, be careful. I was scared and I didn't talk to anyone about the illness, only her. Not even the other doctor. He never touched Renee. He just wrote things down. You can tell me everything, don't be afraid, he said. Everything's going to be fine. Do you want to know what I'm writing? I write down what I see about you. Everything I see. He didn't hate Renee. He tried to help her. But he rarely examined her in those small surgeries. The doctor who wrote things down was in surgery C. March 12, 1938. Renee T., 16 years old, Menarche at the age of 12, housewife, father unknown, mother a seamstress. Admitted for observation yesterday morning from Pontedera, accompanied by a police officer authorized by the examining magistrate of the Court of Pisa to be admitted for psychiatric evaluation, which has been executed by me. Medical certificate. Mental illness preceded by warning signs. Has suffered from depression for a year, believing she has tuberculosis. Food deprivation. We shouldn't read this document. It's forbidden. We mustn't. If they find out, there'll be trouble. Have you ever wondered who you are? Yes, you must have wondered. I never had children, I think. Let's read it. I need to understand. I need to remember. She is scared, hears noises and spirits, presents serious signs of anxiety psychosis, suffers from hallucinations. She is anxious, confused, has a distressed expression, a questioning look as if terrified, disoriented. She feels confused, hears voices shouting in her head. She doesn't understand properly. She has not felt well for 2 or 3 months. When questioned, she replies, "My mother wants to hurt me. She always scares me. She chases me." Why are you here? I had argued with my mother, and I was so disturbed by the shock that I felt like my head was spinning. There was a woman there who wanted to force me into a life of prostitution. They wanted to condemn me to be burned at the stake. Children were whispering, calling my name. 16th March. She couldn't sleep last night. They wanted to condemn her to be burned at the stake. 4th April. Transferred to the quiet ward, still under my supervision. Yes, that's true. The ward where Amara was. Yes, the stake. The children wanted to burn Renee. She had to pay for what she'd done. Like witches, at the stake. April. She is more awake this morning and responds to questions. She complains of headaches. She became emotional when she found out that her mother was there. She says that one day, years earlier, when she was with a friend of hers, she met a guy who made her get into a car and took her for a ride. There, she was made to smoke cigarettes and drink spirits, and that guy showed her certain things. He tried to hurt her and made her go crazy. She says that he promised to marry her and made her swear to keep it a secret. These details were roughly confirmed by her mother. After that, she became domineering, impatient, and hostile to her family, especially her mother. She started taking off her clothes in public, going from laughter to tears without warning. She rants, masturbates. I can't remember these things, only the guilt, the stake. I know that I deserve to pay for that guilt. I knew it even then. She was uncooperative during the examination. She didn't want to be stripped. She remained rigid. Voluntary attention almost absent. Probable hallucinations. 25th April. Confused ideas, unable to maintain a spontaneous conversation. Reflexes all normal. Reactive pupils. Let's find Amara and we'll find the full medical record. The park, at the back, and then down towards the kitchens. June 1935. After much theorizing and practice in clinics for the privilege, the moment to act has finally arrived. Volterra is the right place. It's an avant-garde hospital, the perfect place for a doctor who wants to contribute the change. 20th November. Crossing the threshold of the asylum was similar to entering into another dimension. A world of smells, noises, and image which it is not easy to imagine, describe, or explain. August 1936. The situation is similar to that in many other institutions. The department is overcrowded. Hundreds of patients are supervised by a handful of nurses, who are forced to tie the more agitated ones to their beds or to radiators. They do 24-hour shifts. It's impossible to work like this. We doctors rarely see the female patients. It's the nurses who tell us what's happening to the women. 1937. The piercing stench in the wards, the constant noise of shouts and voices in which very little human content remains. Dirty, naked bodies, devoid of any dignity. The lunatic asylum bores into you. It wears you down. I often consider resigning. I feel useless and impotent, a sort of merciful jailer. A mercy which helps no one and only helps to soothe my conscience. 15th March 1938. Dramas are played out before my eyes every single day, and I try to keep my distance and I just do what I can. Some days ago, however, a girl arrived. I couldn't avoid her gaze. All she asked in her silent dignity was not to be ripped away from her world. And me? I'm old enough to be her father, the father she never had, who didn't want her, who rejected her without even knowing her. I, too, refused what she asked me. I couldn't do anything but add my signature and send her to hell. Dangerous for herself and others, and a cause of public scandal. This was what was written on the accompanying note from police headquarters. Difficult not to agree. How much more violence must this poor girl be subjected to? Her gaze is so intense, so far removed from the carefree nature which should make her happy at her age. I cried in my bed, in my solitude, thinking about those sad and frightened eyes staring at me. This is the road we used to take. If she hadn't been there, in the park on that bench in spring for all those days, it was like escaping nature. She talked and smiled. And then there were the kitchens. Sometimes we stole something to eat and went straight back to the bench to eat it in secret, and we laughed. She did things she wasn't in the system. He wouldn't let her in. That's it, she must be the key to my memories, to the reasons why. Come on, let's search everywhere. She must be here, without a doubt. Keep looking, we mustn't give up. Where might she be? We've got to talk to her. Everything will be all right. I don't like staying here now. Let's look for her. Come on, quickly. We can't stay in here too long. They'll find us. And they found us. Come on, hurry. We've got to find her quickly. We've got to get out of here. They'll find us. But not now. Not yet. Amara's not here. Maybe she's in the showers. We can find her there. The water was often cold. When it was cold, we ran away. But when it was hot, then she came to Renee, under that cruel white light. I can still feel the shivers that her body gave me. It all has to go back to how it was. If we recreate that magic, she'll come to us. Now everything's ready. We can go to the showers. We can go along that narrow corridor in the kitchens. We'll meet her in the showers. Not in this ward, not in observation, remember? Let's go into the tranquil ward. Everything's ready. Let's strip off and leave our clothes on the hooks in the changing room. Let's now turn on the water and everything will be as it once was. Amara was the only thing that Renee had. They separated them. Renee to the semi-agitated ward, the one which terrified everyone. Those injections were torture, the just punishment for what I was doing. And her, who knows where Amara was. They had taken me upstairs into that ward where no one wanted to go. Let's look for Renee's room in the semi-agitated ward. When there was too much chaos, they closed all the windows and the door. They switched off the lights and it was pitch black. Some people fell asleep. Some others stopped seeing their demons and things became more peaceful.
Montefoscoli, 20th December, 1941. Dear Director, please let me know how my daughter, your patient Renee T, is doing. I've written to my daughter several times, but without getting any reply. I'm very worried, and since I've been ill for some time and I'm not fit to come and visit her, please do me the favor of letting me know when it will be possible for me to bring my daughter home. Your humble servant, Ada T. Bring this letter to the attention of Dr. C so he can evaluate the possible discharge of the patient. Close the window shutters, the door, and switch off all the lights. We want darkness. They put a straight jacket on you. They gave you a cold shower. They suffocated you with a sheet. They tied you to the bed. They tied me to the bed. A woman died next to me, suffocated by her own vomit. She was tied down because she wouldn't stop masturbating. I remember her death rattle. I screamed, but nobody came. Everybody screamed in there. The whole lot of them. It was then that I saw that doll, which wasn't Charlotte. No, she wasn't Charlotte. The past was like the present. That doll, that man, the shame. Renee was increasingly divorced from reality. How will I ever be able to find out what really happened? How will I ever be able to find Amara again if I can't even find myself? Montefoscoli, 12th November, 1939. Dear daughter, it is with great sadness that I have heard what has happened. Your transfer and your sufferings are a cause of great worry for me. It will take time, but you'll see. Things will improve. They'll treat you and you'll get better again. I pray a lot, every day. Write to me often and tell me if you need anything. I'll do what I can. Try to be strong, Mom. This is the last letter she wrote me. Once I was put into this ward, loneliness arrived. After that medical examination, I received no more letters from Mum. Why is that man here? Why doesn't she come? Did I make a mistake? It didn't look like she wanted to abandon me. What did I do wrong? I should like to be able to reply to her again now, to change things. Perhaps she would have listened to me. Will she reply? When you were sent to a lunatic asylum, you lost the right to possess anything. Everything you arrived with was packed up and stored here, even the clothes you were wearing, in case you were released one day. Too many, however, never left. Dear Mother, please, I beg you, get me out of this place. It frightens me so much. You were right. I know I was wrong. I realize I'm so ashamed. If you only knew how much. But now I'll behave well. Sure, now things will be fine. I'll work hard. I'll be very good. Your daughter, Renee. This letter. It was Renee's letter, just like when it was written, but it was never sent. Why? Why did a thing like that happen? I've received your letter, Mum. You tell me to be patient and strong, while I only have fear and pain, and you no longer write to me. If only these lines could be my soul and tell you what's happening to me. The kids want to kill me. They all look the other way, and they tell me what I must do. I don't understand. She helps me, but what have they done to her? Can you tell me? Will you help me? Renee. Montefascoli, 7th July, 1940. My dear daughter, I have received no news from you. You haven't even dropped me a line for months. Unfortunately, I can't afford to come and visit you. I've no money for the fare. Do you remember Mr. Onofrio? He'll soon be coming to Volterra on business. I've asked him if would be kind enough to ask the director to have news about you. I hope when he comes back, he'll be able to give me good news. But write to me. I know that I was strict with you. You have to excuse me. I didn't realize. I've given Mr. Onofrio a new doll for you. You told me that you lost yours, and I know you loved it so much. It's not as nice as your Charlotte, but I hope that it will comfort you nonetheless. Keep your chin up, daughter. Things will be fine. You'll see. Mum. Montefascoli, 12th October, 1940. Dear daughter, I've written 2 letters to you and have received no reply. I await a letter anxiously every day. Mr. Onofrio has come back. He brought you the doll. Do you like it? He told me he didn't manage to speak to the director, but he did see you. I pray for you every day. Don Gino said a prayer for you during Sunday Mass. That was lovely, wasn't it? I've made up my mind, Renee. I'm going to bring you home. I've already written to the director. I told him that I'll take care of you. At the moment I'm not well and can't work, but I'll soon get better. You'll see as soon as I'm up to making the journey, I'll come and get you. I know you're suffering a lot, but bear up, I beg you. Mum will come and pick up Renee, won't she? Mum is good, but she's not well. That's why that man came. The doll. Renee could have played with it, waiting for her to arrive. But Renee never had it with her. Is it one of Mum's lies? She knew that she had hurt Renee and... No, Mummy's good. That man brought it. We've just remembered him, haven't we? It was Renee who was wrong. The doll's there, that's sure. Perhaps she's been kidnapped like everyone else, locked up somewhere in here. Let's look for the second doll. It'll be among bundles of the patient's things. Now we can open the bundle on that table in front of the window. May the Lord guide your path and keep you away from sin, Mom. See, Mom was good. I was bad. Mom was worried about Renee and Charlotte. I abandoned Charlotte. We've abandoned her. Let's look for Charlotte. We have abandoned her. She will always remain where we abandoned her, beneath the hot lights. I didn't do anything. I only obeyed orders. Leave us gone away. I didn't do anything. I only obeyed orders. Leave us alone. I didn't do anything. I only obeyed orders. Mom will come and get us now. I didn't do anything. I only obeyed orders. Even though we're bad. Mom won't leave us alone. I didn't do anything. Charlotte gone away. I only obeyed orders. Mom will come and get us now. She loves us, even though we're bad. I didn't do anything. I only obeyed orders. What was that doctor writing, sitting at his desk? September 7th, 1938. The patient frequently indulges in recriminations expressed in an explosive tone of voice. This morning she threw away the milk, saying it was full of urine, spittle, and all the other filth. Crazed, she hears voices. They order her about. She says she heard children singing. They were imprisoned in a school. 20th January 1939. Mutistic, groggy, pays no attention to anything. When questioned and stimulated, she starts crying and weeping. At other times, she laughs. 1st June. Apathetic, eats very little. She refuses to be touched. Doesn't respond. Passes her time in the park. The cooks report that she sits on a bench in front of the kitchens. 14 October. Impulsive once again. This morning she asked for 2 eggs to make zabaione, but the moment she was given them, she threw them away. Excited, uproarious, slightly confused, she strips off. 8th December. Tied to bed for 15 days. High-spirited, tends to make witty comments and use vulgar words, laughs hysterically, masturbates. The nurses report that about 2 weeks ago she remained in the showers on her own and didn't want to leave. They report that when they took her away, she swore at them and then hit out at them and bit them. 2 nurses had to be treated for their injuries. Since then, they've kept her tied to the bed. Transferred to the semi-agitated ward, from the care of Dr. B to the care of Dr. C. I was with Amara in the showers. My memories terrify me. They're not real, are they? December 15th. Dr. C. Patient notes. The abnormality of her psychic state has induced her to lead a life which is irregular and tends towards delinquency. A fickle and flighty character, she abandons her household duties at intervals and dabbles in occasional prostitution. Delinquency? Prostitution? Renee? It seems so strange, unreal. It can't be true. And Amara? She loved us and she would tell us everything. She wouldn't hide anything from us. Her mental deficiency makes her deaf to the reprimands of her family. She has shown suicidal tendencies. She was brought to the ward yesterday, agitated and vociferous, treated with cortisol, 2 injections a week for 5 weeks. They were only trying to confuse us with the therapy and, my God, they managed. It was as if they wanted to instill the madness into us. It was torture, but you couldn't refuse it. No one explained anything to us. No one tried to make us understand. We were like animals on a stock farm. June 2nd. After a long period of calm and improvement, the patient is very agitated today and vehemently refuses to submit to a gynecological examination. She swore and cursed those who generated her, flailing her arms and hitting out. The patient, according to reports by Dr. B, has been subjected to periodic checkups since she had a spontaneous abortion about 2 years ago in her 3rd month of pregnancy. Conception occurred after she had sexual intercourse with a stranger who sneaked into the hospital park. As detailed in the charges filed at police headquarters in Volterra, a copy of which is attached to these clinical notes. ES therapy. Spontaneous abortion? It's not true, I'm certain. How could I have invented things if I didn't even know what they were doing to me? June 13th. The nurses report that after having received her mother's letter, she fell into a state of great mental confusion. She threw her soup over another inmate because she was very anxious, and she punched a nurse. Impulsive, lashes about her. She rails against the doctor in vulgar terms while he is examining her, lashes out and spits. Block all correspondence so as not to give the patient further reasons to become agitated. 20th August. Tied to bed. The nurses report that the patient becomes highly agitated after the visit of a relative or family friend. Even 2 days later, she still shouts ceaselessly that he commands her, that she must obey and harm herself, and that she is not Charlotte. All visits forbidden, constrained to bed and intensification of ES therapy until we achieve results. No contact with the exterior. In that way, no one knew what was happening within these walls. Calm down. You've got to be calm. Don't get agitated. We'll make you calm down. That's the only thing that matters. Is tranquility worth the price of not living? March 3rd. Alert, correct attitude, replies when questioned. The nurses report that the patient is calm. She washes and looks after herself. She affirms the existence of a certain Amara. She says that Amara is a patient who disappeared when she was moved to this ward. No confirmation. Probably a regressive hallucination. Evaluate transfer. Amara invented by me? That's not possible. She was there. I know she was there. I feel it. She must have left traces somewhere. We can look for her things in the storeroom containing the bundles of patients' belongings on the 1st floor. These are Amara's things, I'm certain. Amara, there she is. She existed, certainly she existed. There she is, my friend. Here we are together. How could I have imagined, even for a single moment, that she never existed? 12th March 1938. Today, Renee, the young girl, arrived. She's terrorized, poor thing. See, she remembers when we met the first time. I met her mother, poor thing. She gave vent to her fears with me. I promised her that I would keep an eye on her daughter. The lady told me her daughter's doll had been taken away from her, and she was very worried about this because when Renee's depressed, as she is in this period, she barricades herself inside and can't communicate. She uses the doll for this, and it becomes her voice, her eyes, and her ears. Dr. B said that I'll soon get out of here. I'm sorry, I'm sad about leaving Renee. I'll no longer be able to protect her. My poor friend! She was hoping to be able to get out of here, but nobody ever leaves this place. That poor girl is really ill. I'm the only one she ever speaks to. I told her I was leaving, and she stared at me, saying that I would never leave. She almost frightened me. Then she started to cry. I felt like crying too. She didn't say anything else. I'm worried because that terrible man had set his eyes on her. I'm certain it was him who brought her in here. Of all the good people that there are, why did it have to be him? She knew. I told her everything. She knew about that man. But I had advised a nurse friend of mine to keep an eye on her, and I'm sure she'll do it because she's a good woman. Her friend, the nurse. I think I remember something. She worked in this ward. Let's search for the nurse's traces in the nursery room on the first floor. She mainly worked in the Margliano Pavilion. Let's get out of here and look for that pavilion. She was there and nothing frightened me anymore. She's kind with everyone, even with me. When I saw her, I felt a little bit better. The sick children laughed and played with her. Not even they could frighten me. Don't bother Renee, she's a princess here, didn't you know? She told stories. She said there was a war out there. However, they looked at me and frightened me. They would come to look for me in the evening, and then no one would have protected me. Not even you, Charlotte, right? Let's follow. My God, I did it. It was me. when the light's there. Renee is kind to Don Gino, but he always frightens me. A cat enters my mouth and eats me up from inside. At least you can't see anything. Don Gino knows everything. He speaks to God and he tells him loads of things. I do a lot of bad things. I never tell anyone, but Mom knows it just the same.
What's happened? What kind of place is this? Maybe I'm dead. I can't see any light. I might be dead. I can't get up. What's going on here? What's happening to me? There's no one here, yet these noises. God, my head is killing me. I can't keep my eyes open.
Find medical file again. I don't want to know. I don't want to know anymore. There's only confusion. There were some who had scarcely seen me and thought they knew me and understood what was happening to me and could decide about my life.
Once more, I feel like I'm on the edge of an abyss. What a horrible feeling. My paranoia is knocking urgently at the gates. Everything is booming, and in the end, I know they will enter and destroy me in a few moments. For a short while, I shall no longer be here, but in my personal hell, devoured by fear which will be directed silently towards the exterior. When you're not well, I mean in your head. When you're crazy. To cut a long story short, what am I? Well, that's that. I can no longer speak or move. I find it hard to swallow. I can't eat. Then it passes. I feel better, like now, perhaps. Then I feel increasingly anxious. I can't sleep. I can't stop thoughts that come to me, one on top of the other, and I suffer from memory lapses. Yes, there are periods I don't remember anything about. I don't even know what it means. It began happening with my fiancé, and Bruno was there. They said I did certain things, you know. I'm too embarrassed to talk about them. But I think that's the reason I'm here, isn't it? But now I no longer do any of those things, right? Please send me home. I'm sure I'm okay, and I still want to go home. But nobody comes to visit me. Why? Do you know?
28th August 1942. We hereby communicate the death of Ada T., mother of Renee T., a patient in your institution. No known relative. Sincerely yours, Onofrio P. I've nobody left in the world. Nobody at all. Solitude is very strange. It muffles everything, slows it down. It's an endless scream which doesn't emit any sound. A silent shout. I can't stop looking at myself. I will never leave this place. There's nobody for me out there. These walls have become my skin, and the wretched desperation within them is my soul without a voice. Here, nobody weeps anymore. How I would love to feel life, desperation, anger. I've stopped dreaming, daydreaming, maybe even thinking. I've lived in a reality which has corroded me, depriving me of everything, even of my capacity to feel pain. May 1943. Renee's in a good state of health. She eats and speaks, is orientated in space and time. Therapy suspended. 3rd December. She asks, reasonably, if she can leave the hospital. Evaluate patient for 6 months. 2nd May 1944. Discharge denied, despite favorable psychiatric opinion. The patient has no home or means of support. 4th May. The reasons why discharge is impossible are explained, and in this manner Renee learns of her mother's death 2 years after the fact. 5th May. During the night she tried to kill herself by hanging herself with a sheet, saved by the nurses. Restrained to her bed, she once more tries to kill herself by suffocation. It is decided to perform a transorbital lobotomy.
June 1944. Operation successful. Patient tranquil and collaborative. Motor coordination capacity reduced, but she's improving. Transferred to the tranquil department in the care of Dr. B. 25th of October. Continues to talk about Amara and her doll, Charlotte. The disturbances of motor capacity show slight signs of improvement. Difficulty walking, not capable of riding, and the nurses report that they have to help her dress, wash, and feed herself.